Hi. Welcome to Movies Reflexed. Today, I am going to talk about an American action-adventure movie released in 2021 titled The Suicide Squad. Watch out for spoilers. Take care. The movie starts and we see a woman named Amanda. She is building a suicide squad. But the mysterious fact is that she adjusts bombs in their bodies so that she had full control of them and make them explode if they try to flee. There are also some animal-like creatures along with the human beings. And the major character of this movie is Harley Quinn. They reach an island and they begin to jump into the water one by one. But the animal-like creature is unable to swim and it begins to move its hands and feet. Then a blonde-haired manservant goes there and brings it to the bank of the water with him while swimming. But that poor animal-like creature had already died till that time. If it is discussed as with whom the Suicide Squad was going to confront, so that was the dangerous military. This army also approaches here. Then, Blackguard begins to shout while raising his hands. The military surrounding them fires on the face of Blackguard. As a result, his face is completely shed. And he falls on his face there. Amanda keeps an eye on them. She orders them, "You will not retreat, no matter what happens." Getting a chance in the middle of it, Harley Quinn fires her missile launcher on the military. Consequently, many military soldiers are killed in this explosion. Now, the real fight takes place here. When one team member of Suicide Squad throws a blade, then it decapitates a man at once. Being uncontrolled, the military starts firing indiscriminately. Harley Quinn begins to run in order to rescue herself. Reaching a little far, she hides behind a big rock. One more member of the squad also comes here. There is also another member named TDK behind them. He throws his two arms to the military after parting them. It starts to divert the attention of the army while punching their hats and guns. But it proves futile and Savant starts to fear. And thinking for his own life, he begins to run from there. But before he could run any further, Amanda blasts his neck bomb. As she said earlier, that you will lose your life who attempts to escape. The story turns from here and Amanda's sharp thinking is also revealed. She also had an alternative team ready. Maybe she quite knew about how her first Suicide Squad would act. First of all, she comprises in the squad a man named Bloodsport. And she makes him the squad captain. Second member is Peacemaker, who has the ability that can mold anything into a weapon. He can also continue to use it and kill people. And the third one is King Shark. It has enough power to bite through anything and also is super strong. It's more of a shark than human. There was also a girl named Kaizo. She could call and control rats. Everyone possesses his own unique abilities. Now, Amada starts to tell about the mission to Squad. That island is dominated by a general. In the same way, he wants to dominate over America. He has also built a laboratory there for this task. You people have been chosen so that going there, you may search out this laboratory and destroy it along with the general. But first of all, you will have to capture his special laboratory man in charge. In the other side, Harley Quinn and Flag survives the military attack and they were escaping from there. But Harley is caught by the military while Flag by some of the inhabitants of island. Now, second team of Suicide Squad has also reached the island. But they think to have a rest here because of night time. Suddenly, Bloodsport wakes up at night and notices that King Shark is trying to eat the Ratcatcher Kaizo driven by hunger. But Bloodsport stops him by shouting also fires his gun on him. But he doesn't even get a scratch from it. Kaizo calls the rats, but it also doesn't impact much on King Shark. But Bloodsport is under effect because he used to be afraid of the rats. Now, Kaizo is afraid that King Shark might try to eat her again. So, going near him, she explains politely. "Look, we are friends. And one friend doesn't eat another friend." Then King Shark gets the point. But all the other members could not accept it as their friend. Now, Amanda contacts the Suicide Squad. And she orders them to rescue Flag from the inhabitants of island. They all start to move in that direction. King Shark eats a man alive, going there. A man of island comes to Peacemaker. He throws his axe towards him and it directly strikes on his head. And his head begins to bleed much and he dies. Then, Bloodsport makes Peacemaker a sword. Using it, Peacemaker slaughters a man. God, what kind of peacemaker is this? He is super violent and violates every rules of peace. Anyway, Bloodsport also fires a lot. Another squad member named Polka-Dot starts to target the huts there, firing dices from his body. And Peacemaker enters while cutting the people's body with his sword. Then they come to know that the island people did not abducted Flag. They rather saved his life. The chief of those peoples talks to them coming here. She tells that she is also against the general. She becomes very angry at them as they had killed most of her men without even knowing anything. Flag says, "Let it go. What is the use of war if our mission is the same?" They hardly convinces the chief. Contrarily, military had taken Harley to general while capturing her. He says to Harley Quinn, "I will get the seat of president if you marry me, because this nation thinks that it is compulsory for me to be married to you. Then, we will also dominate the world together." Harley is convinced and agreed, but she regrets it soon. Then one night, she fires her gun on General's heart while meeting him. The military again imprisons her. Here, the good thing happens as the general is no more. He died while bleeding from the gun fire. Afterwards, one more character comes on the scene named Matthew. And he also wanted to become the president. So, he is extremely excited by the death of General. On the other side, Suicide Squad has reached the city. They all begin to tell their stories while traveling in the bus. They talk about their past and also tells how they became criminals. Their life on that time was very pathetic and so, they wish to do something in their life. Now, they reach the club where they sing and dance. They rejoice a lot. There, they notice a man having some fixed small devices on his head. Military also appears here. So Bloodsport makes the device man out from the club silently with Kaizo and Polka-Dot. And he confronts the military with Peacemaker. There, military and Flag come to know that Harley is still alive. So, they attack on the military. They push them with their legs and also hits the military van window pane on their heads. As a result, the car glass is also damaged and military van is stopped. The military van is crashed with another car. The van driver was not on its place so the military van falls down. The strange fact is that Bloodsport, Peacemaker, and Flag comes out of the vehicle without any harm. Now, they decide to rescue Harley. Harley was now in the custody of Matthew. Matthew hanged her by tying her hands upside. He tortures her. Due to this, her nose and mouth bleeds. He also asks her about her other team members. She does not reveal a single fact. So, Matthew's man starts to give her electric shocks. Harley is knocked out. But she was actually pretending. As Matthew goes outside, Harley fractures Matthew's man's neck while trapping his neck around his head. And with the help of her feet, she takes the keys from him and unlocks her chains. Many people tries to stop her as she comes outside. First of all, Harley kills both of them and after that, she starts to shoot others roundly with the two guns on her hands. Then she continues to cross that place with a spear while jumping and killing the people coming on her way. At last she comes out of the building. And she notices all three who had came here to rescue her. Harley embraces Flag. Now, they are all united. They move to that laboratory. It starts to rain here. Now, they all begin to battle according to their planned mission. They fire their guns in the head of the peoples of that place. King Shark rips a man in half. And the blood of many soldiers begin to flood this place. Other military also appears from the backside. And Matthew also gets informed. Suicide Squad locks the door of laboratory moving inside. Now, Kaizo moves into the laboratory. She glimpses many types of creature there. They were trying to communicate with her. She also notices Project Starfish there. It was looking very threatening. Here, that device man tells them, this starfish is the result of our own country's foolishness. Then it was to this laboratory for unlawful experiment. Amanda knew about it, but she wanted to tackle it. So that our country's reputation may remain secured. Flag steals the hard drive containing all the experiment's data. But Peacemaker points his gun at him. Before he gets to say something to him, the laboratory begins to fall apart due to their planted bombs blasting earlier than intended. And the chamber of the Starfish is also damaged. It is now free. At first, it pulls the body of that device man. Catching his hands and feet, it pulls his body apart. Then Peacemaker kicks Flag away. He wants the hard drive. Because Amanda has ordered Peacemaker to destroy every data in this facility. He throws his towards an object while lifting him up. Then, Flag also picks up an iron drain cover and begins to hit Peacemaker. His mouth starts to bleed much. Before Flag could do something to Peacemaker, he picks up a tile piece and stabs him right on his heart. And Kaizo picks up the hard drive in the meantime. It had all the intels. But Peacemaker also asks her to return it by pointing a gun at her. On the other side, King Shark is shown, which falls outside the building because of its overflowing of water. There is military before it. Here, Bloodsport is also going to fall down from the building. But catching his hand, Harley pulls him upwards. Military starts to fire on King Shark. And getting up on his feet, it begins to eat the military alive. Laboratory begins to fall apart due to severe damage. And it is nearly to fall down. Then, by grinding and sliding with a rope, Harley, Polka-Dot comes out of it. And the building falls on King Shark. Harley and Polka-Dot stand at a place. While Bloodsport moves down because his rope being loosened. And it is the same scene where Peacemaker had pointed his gun on Kaizo. Bloodsport appears right before him. Peacemaker fires his gun on Bloodsport and he also immediately fires his gun. But Bloodsport's bullet reaches Peacemaker, piercing his bullet. And it directly hits his neck and he dies. Now, Kaizo reveals everything to Bloodsport while weeping. How this starfish bringing devastation. She also gives the drive to Bloodsport. King Shark also joins them while eating the head of a man. It hasn't received any harm in spite of this hard attack. Then the military and Matthew also appears here. They prepare their guns to end the suicide squad. Before it, Starfish appears while breaking the building. It was a giant. Military starts to fire at that starfish. But that starfish breeds its babies. They start to attack the military. But they don't harm the suicide squad. But the military soldiers on whom starfish babies had fallen start to move on the wish of Mother Starfish. They start to move as following the starfish. Then, Amanda orders them, return back to the base immediately. But the suicide squad couldn't leave all these people behind to let them die. So they start to attack the starfish. But Amanda threatens them, I will blast you. But then, a girl in Amanda's office hits her with a rod. She was also very fed up of her cruelties. And Suicide Squad moves to kill the starfish. People in the office begins to help them. They begin to fire on it. King Shark grabs on it and starts to eat its flesh. Kaizo also tries to kill the starfish. But she notices the starfish is proceeding to kill her. Then, Bloodsport comes with a long jump and falls down, taking her with. Harley stabs her rod into the eye of that starfish while jumping from the building. But she sees that she has entered an ocean. Above all, Kaizo had ended Starfish here, calling a huge number of rats. Those rats ate all the internals of the starfish and the starfish dies here. After this, Bloodsport intimidates Amanda, saying, we have the whole data. Release us. After it, they leave from there riding a helicopter. On the other side, Peacemaker is also seen in the hospital. He was still alive and he treated by the doctors. And with it, the movie ends here. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the upcoming uploads. Thank you for watching.